In late 2015, one of the biggest scandals in automotive history occurred. The US Environmental Protection Agency filed a violation of the Clean Air Act against German auto manufacturer Volkswagen. The investigation was initiated by discrepancies in the emission test between the North American models and European models of the same turbocharged diesel engines. After a series of tests, the EPA determined the engines of Volkswagen had intentionally programmed these diesel engines to differentiate between emission testing scenarios and daily driving scenarios. The engineers ran checks on multiple parameters like engine speed, mass airflow rate, and even the position of the wheel. During testing, the EC would engage all emission control units, running the engine below normal performance and economy levels to display cleaner emission readings. These allowed these engines to forcefully meet world-class standards, allowing Volkswagen to manufacture more diesel engine vehicles in North America, where the emission standards are much stricter compared to the rest of the world. Under normal driving conditions, these engines emitted an average of 40 times above the allowed nitrous oxide limits in North America. The program was found on all turbo diesel engines manufactured by Volkswagen between the years 2009 and 2015. VW's engineers were in breach of the code standards and several minimum ethical standards as listed in the Professional Engineers Act of Ontario. Studies have shown that the increase in emissions might result in approximately 59 premature deaths caused by the pollution particles in ozone layer depletion, causing a significant danger to the general public. They failed to adhere to the regulations announced in 1990 with a phasing period from 2004 to 2005. They sold vehicles which did not adhere to the set legal standards, and the act of disclosing false information regarding their products and receiving awards based on these claims is disgraceful, dishonorable, and unprofessional. Now, Volkswagen has been involved directly in professional misconduct, and they have also disregarded the gold standard. The engineers involved had used with their employer and their customer, falsifying the fact that the product is unacceptable. The company prioritized profits over public needs and safety. The engineers did not maintain the integrity of the profession, and they remained silent for years until the scandal was brought to light by third-party investigators. Using our three-point test, we can analyze the Volkswagen case from a total perspective, the plaintiff being the public, the defendant being Volkswagen, and its engineers inclusive. Volkswagen sold the raw legal vehicle and owed the duty of care to the general public. Volkswagen breached that duty of care when using a cheap device that made their engines emit 40 times the allowed nitrogen oxide emissions. Volkswagen has caused injury and harm by endangering the safety and general health of the public. Now, looking from the perspective of contract law, Volkswagen and the Environmental Protection Agency have found a contract agreement. VW has offered to sell and manufacture cars in the United States. The EPA has agreed to this under regulatory terms such as the Clean Air Act. VW has an obligation to manufacture and sell cars that pass certain regulations and standards set by the EPA. The EPA has a duty to the environment and general public to make sure these standards are met. VW was to manufacture clean diesel engines in the United States, using both industrial and economy road. The EPA has given the company manufacturing and distribution rights in this region. VW as an established automotive manufacturer has the capacity to manufacture clean diesel engines in the United States, as well as the EPA has the capacity to maintain environmental regulations and laws in the United States. The agreement was lawful within the rights of both parties. Now, misrepresentation was established in a legal case of Irish dispute, where it was defined as when a party provides a statement that is untrue or misleading to the other party participating in the contract. Establishing Volkswagen as a defendant and the EPA as a plaintiff, we can analyze this case using 5 steps of following misrepresentation. First, VW created the misrepresentation by selling vehicles that did not meet emission standards set by the EPA. Second, VW knew of the false claims. They modified their vehicles to render fraudulent emission test results at the time of testing. Third, these modifications were intended to deceive the EPA. They were not disclosed to anyone in the EPA or the general public. Fourth, this led to the EPA to act, allowing the polluting vehicles on public roads. Fifth, the result of this was an increase in environmental damage and pollution against the entire framework of the Environmental Protection Agency.
There are several key subjects and alternatives that this engineering disaster brings to light. The first is that too often, business dominates the policy making, meaning that the willingness to increase profit by any means necessary overshadows the importance of public health and safety and environmental care. Although Volkswagen ordered a voluntary recall and set aside 6.5 billion euros for use of complying with Pollution Standard 11, the damage to the environment and public health had already been done. A company's social responsibility to the public health and environment should always outweigh profit margins. The second is the lack of company transparency, both within the institution and externally to its consumers. Private sector governance or the self-regulation of a company's own rules often allow companies the platform to take negative decisions that could seriously affect the quality of life or health and safety of the larger public. And so, this shows the need for an outside third party who only has public health and safety as their sole priority, one that would implement constant quality control checks on the products being manufactured and require monthly updates on the company's progress. We believe that with these implementations of these alternatives, a situation like this could not only be prevented, but would never have the opportunity to affect so many different people in the future.